everyone. So I am here with the author of Dead Serious, My Life as a Funeral Director, J. Kevin Watts. We're going to be calling him just Kevin. So now tell me, Kevin, where are you at right now? Like location-wise, where are you?
Location-wise, I'm here in Pensacola, Florida, right in the Panhandle.
Okay, but you worked most of your life as a funeral director up in Cape Cod, was it?
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I went to school in Boston. That's where I received my education and to become a funeral director. Furthered my studies, finished up with a bachelor at Boston University, and pretty much worked in the central part of the state for the first couple of years, and on Cape Cod for about another 15.
Okay, and are you retired now, or?
No, ma'am. No, I'm still working stiff.
Okay, you're just working down in Florida now, or
I
you're?
am. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I relocated down to Pensacola, moved back to my birthplace of Birmingham for Alabama for a little bit, and missed the water so much I had to get down to Florida.
Okay, and how long have you been down there then?
Been down here since '06.
Okay, it's a little while then. Nice.
Yes, ma'am.
So what compelled you to start wanting to kind of catalog your career in a book and to create the book?
Basically, just hanging out with family and friends and telling stories, and the same response. Man, you could write a book. You should write a
Yeah.
book. You should put all this stuff down. And I kind of started outlining notes and filled a couple of legal pads, and finally got off my backside and started typing.
Yeah. Now, where did you start? When you start, I always wonder when an author starts, what part did you start with? Do you just start at the beginning, or did you just start?
Yeah, I kind of thought that it
Phrase?
was best to kind of start at the beginning when I was completing my education. And I basically went into the military and, 3 square meals a day, roof over my head, decide what I wanted to do. And when it came time to get out, I completed my term and received my honorable discharge, and off to school I went. I got into it before I even worked a day in the business.
Nice. No, I know I don't want to dive into too much of what's in the book specifically because it gives away kind of everything. I
Okay.
know in my review, I said I have a favorite story that you recounted, but I don't want to give it away so that way other people can enjoy it as well. I'll tell you when we're off camera which one was my favorite. But
Okay.
did you ever think in the beginning, because you were military and going into the business, did you ever think about going into career military as a funeral director? Like going into mortuary affairs? Because I thought, well, maybe he'll get to this in the book, and you never did. So I'm wondering, was that ever a thought?
Um, you know, Not until I started working with mortuary affairs.
Okay.
And I do touch on a little bit of that, working with them, with their civilian employees, coordinating between the funeral home and the active duty branches of the service. But I didn't actually think about it or see the involvement between funeral homes and the military until I, had my first experience caring for a deceased soldier or sailor.
In reading through the book, I know I had a favorite story that you recounted. What was your favorite story to tell in the book that you were most excited to kind of share from your heart and share with everybody?
Oh God. Um, there's so many. I would hate to try to pick a favorite.
Okay.
I've always been the type of guy that I love to use humor, whether it's waiting on a family, trying to ease the moment, add a little levity, or just trying to ease tensions or emotions. And there's just so many, and I tried to include so many into the book. Um, I wanted the reader to kind of experience a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
There's a lot of touchy feely books out there about the funeral business, and I wanted a book to make people experience a vast array of emotions, but with a lot of humor into it. So I don't know. I mean, there's you see these older couples in the supermarket holding hands, and
Mm-hmm.
um, the story about the older couple that had passed away together at home kind of rings out as a favorite for mine.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I hate to be hard pressed to try to pick one in general.
Um, there's as a reader, if I was reading this, just an everyday person, there was two questions that I had that I know people would pose. One was, there was a letter, that the suicide letter, and I won't say who it was in reference to or anything. Now, was that you recounting what you remember being in the letter? Did you get permission to put that letter in? Like, how true to information is that letter?
I was very careful, and everything in the book is vague as far as the description,
Right.
the details, and I just feel out of respect for everybody, it would be in the best interest to do that. Certain names were changed. I did use names with approval when I mentioned both my mentor, my embalming mentor,
Right.
my funeral director mentor. Um, but yeah, I'm just basically off of memory as best as I can recant the
Okay.
exact details of the letter, and specifically where law enforcement said, yeah, I'm not really supposed to let you read that.
Yeah.
But it was, I mean, it was moving. It was moving for me as funeral director, being on the scene to handle the pickup, the removal, and the transfer, and even the officers on the scene. Who the officer, the sergeant, was a buddy of mine, and he said, "Man, I ain't no way I can't let you not read this. It's very touching." So,
Well, and I think that's one situation that, we are kind of right in it when suicides happen, and
mhm,
we always are wondering the why. Like, why?
yeah,
Why did this happen? Why? And we want more information just for our kind of mental state of what we're trying to process when we're caring for people. So it is kind of nice when there's a letter that we are privy to, or more information to give us, to,
yes,
I don't know,
yes,
just to comfort maybe us as funeral directors. I know
yes,
there's a story. There was, I'll try and be vague so I don't give stuff away again.
no problem.
That you thought something would maybe be harmful for the family. So you had stuck it away so they would never get it or see it.
Yeah, that's exactly the story that popped into my mind when you started
Yes.
talking about things that we.
So I know I've encountered things over the years that it's like, "God, I don't want the family to see this, but I don't know that I should keep it." Now, what do you feel regret sticking something away? Because I know as a consumer or somebody reading it, they would might think that's not that's not your place to decide what the family sees and doesn't. But I can see other people saying, "Oh, that was really nice of you to do that so they didn't have to see it." So looking back, do you regret doing that at all? How often do you make that judgment call in a situation?
Well, I mean, in that situation, I looked at it as myself as a parent,
Yeah.
and I kind of thought, well, out of respect for another parent, and I'm just going to take this item and tuck it away. If something said, somebody comes back later, it's there. It's fully able to return it back, and
Right.
but I think just in my heart, I kind of knew what I probably should do, and I kind of went with my gut feeling on that one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, that
I
just
don't have any regrets on that.
good.
Uh, I don't know. Every situation is different, as you well know, as a funeral director.
Mhm.
We kind of have to roll with the punches and just go with it and see what happens.
Do you worry about a family maybe reading the book saying, "Oh my gosh, that was my funeral director," and reading the book and realizing that it's them that you're talking about? Do you worry about that at all when you're recounting stories?
No, no. Like I said, I have changed a lot of the names, basically to protect the families, the identity of the families and the clients that we serve. And I try to change the scenarios up a little bit. There might be an instance where somebody might remember a situation like that, and like I talk about, there's things that we just don't discuss, but I think I've kind of hidden the details enough, and we're vague enough that that I wanted to kind of give the readers an experience of what it's like to be in our shoes,
Mm-hmm.
in every situation, removals, embalmings, accidents in the back room, just everything, but try to keep it vague enough to where people can't say, "Hey, I think that was our family," so to speak.
Right.
I'm very ecstatic at the reception it's getting. Both I've gotten done several interviews like this one. I've completed one with Brian and Ryan. Actually, it was
Yeah.
just Brian. They're great guys. I really can't sing.
I love them. Yeah.
Yeah, enough accolades to those guys and what they do for us in our business. And I've always thought, the funeral business is a certain mystique, and people have always been inquisitive about what they don't understand. They want to know more. They want to hear the stories. Yeah, you know as well as I do. You go to a party or a social setting, and you tell people what you do. It's either like, oh, okay, or they're very enthralled and they want to know details and stories and things like that. I'm very happy with the reception the book is getting. I couldn't have done it without the internet. I mean, part of what I do is people purchase the book, and I tell people, get in touch with me. Everyone that purchases the book gets this custom laminated toe tag bookmark. It's just my little gimmick and my little gift to you. And I couldn't do it without the internet. I mean, I've mailed these bookmarks to as far away as Australia, and I'm sending out about one a day. It's very, very pleasing to me in my heart to know that my book is reaching people and making a difference. So
that's awesome. Are you getting feedback from a lot of funeral directors? Because I know it's always, and I'm very vocal. I don't always love reading about what I do every day. So, I'm not going to be the first person to go out and buy a book about being a funeral director because it's kind of what I live.
Exactly.
But I know so many people, and a lot of my viewers just love filling up with information about what we do because they have so many questions. So do you have a lot of feedback from funeral directors reading and funeral directors buying, or is it more consumers that you're getting a lot of feedback from?
It's a little mix of both. It's a lot of people who have different aspects in the business, removal technicians, people that just come in, associates that work funerals. It's a little bit of that. It's a little bit of the funeral directors as well. I've reached guys back home in Massachusetts and back on Cape Cod, and I get an email here and there, or I get a message on Facebook Messenger. Hey, man, I checked out your book. It couldn't be further from the truth. You hit the nail on the head, or I enjoyed reading the stories. I did have one hate mail, so to speak, from some person. And I just kind of read it and I put it down. I walked away. I came back. I read it again. And I said, one of these out of several hundred positives, I think I can live with that.
Guys, check out Kevin's book, Dead Serious, My Life as a Funeral Director. They can find it on Amazon. Where else can they find it for purchase?
Pretty much just Amazon, but I'm running a little promo I have for the past 2 months. For 1 year, every month, I'm giving away a custom handmade 20-inch wooden coffin that I build and paint and put the fabric purple interior in. It's fully functional with a hinge and a hasp. Every month, I pick a winner. Someone wins that coffin, my book, and the custom laminated toe tag bookmark. That's my gift to people that, so if you go to the Facebook page, Dead Serious, My Life as a Funeral Director, you find this month's giveaway, share it, and that's what it takes to win. So I'm getting a lot of reception there as well. Yeah.
Good. Well, we'll post the link so people can quickly and easily go over to purchase that. But thanks so much for joining us, Kevin, and we'll get a lot of feedback from people checking out your book.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, Kari. It's great to finally meet you and see you and do coffee together.
Yeah, of course. Always coffee. So bye, guys.
Bye-bye.